roads get facelift. Good to have you on News Hour on GBC24 and GTV. Good evening. My name is Shirley Annan.
And my name is Akpene Avo Ajaja. Many thanks for joining us for the news. In the details, health experts are concerned about the high prevalence rate of hepatitis in Ghana, with some communities recording rates as high as 20%.
An appeal to the public at Edeba to mark this year's World Hepatitis Day in Cape Coast was therefore to make an effort to test to know one's status and to take the necessary measures to prevent infection.
When the liver is swollen or sore and does not function properly, the condition known as hepatitis can degenerate to cirrhosis or cancer of the liver. There are 5 main types of the hepatitis viruses: types A, B, C, D, and E. The 5 types are of greatest concern because they can be fatal when not treated. In particular, types B and C lead to chronic disease and together are the most common cause of liver cirrhosis and cancer. Hepatitis is mostly transmitted through contact with infected bodily fluids such as blood and sweat. At Edeba in Cape Coast to mark World Hepatitis Day, a pharmacist, John Klu, who represented Roche Pharmaceuticals, said the prevalence rate of hepatitis in Ghana is very high and in some communities as high as 20% prevalence rate. He said Roche Pharmaceuticals has signed an MOU with the Ministry of Health to support and provide interventions in the country.
Over the years, hepatitis has plagued sub-Saharan Africa, with Ghana being no different. Statistics suggest that we should be having a prevalence of more than 8% for hepatitis B and more than 5 to 10% for hepatitis C. In Ghana, there are some communities that have as high as 22% prevalence. And so it becomes something that needs to be addressed.
A pathologist, Dr. Yawa Santiewuku, who is a member of the Ghana Hepatitis Society, educated the gathering about the mode of transmission of the hepatitis virus and called on the public, especially pregnant women, to check their status and get vaccinated.
If it also when you yellow and copra, and also your phone, I shall say, I can see, and also Nancy at that. And also when I take a cross wabre, if you more hokramos off Moja, and also
the director of the University of Cape Coast Hospital, Dr. Ivan Sekanem, said all freshmen admitted to the University of Cape Coast will now be screened for hepatitis B and C. This, he said, was in order to treat any student who may be carrying the hepatitis virus. Dr. Yawa Santiewuku was concerned that the NHIS does not cover treatment of hepatitis. He appealed to the government to help rectify the situation since most of the people diagnosed with the hepatitis are unable to bear the cost of treatment.
GBC24 has visited the 22 voter registration exhibition centers at the Ghana-Cote d'Ivoire border town of Elubu in the western region. As it was in other parts of the country, the exercise was slow and the EC has warned that there will be no extension for re-registration. The officers say, contrary to speculations, no foreigner was identified to have come to verify or re-register.
Elubo in the Jomoro district of the Western region is one of Ghana's key border towns where a lot of cross-border and brisk commercial activities take place. In its rounds to assess how the voter registration and verification exercise were faring, our Western Region News team did some investigation around Elubo, find out whether some non-Ghanaians were taking part in the exercise. This is in response to allegations by some politicians that people from neighboring countries take part in our elections. There was no evidence of that when the news team went round, but the town was busy as usual. All the 22 exhibition centers visited revealed very poor patronage of the exercise. At the RC Primary School Block AB polling station, which has 6 exhibition centers, only 88 people had verified their names since the start of the exercise. The situation was not different at the Elubo Asikoi polling station, where there were 4 exhibition centers. The exhibition officer here, Mr. Abraham Bua, said there had not been any incident except for low turnout. He said out of the total number of 2,627 names in the voters register, only 492 had come to verify their names. The situation was similar at the Lubo RCJHS Block B Center. Here, out of 513 names in the register, only 86 persons had come to verify. The officer in charge of the center, Mr. Samuel Kwame, told GBC24 the center had not experienced any problem so far.
The turnout is very low. Ever since we started, from the first day, we have not had a large number. The first turnout was 15, followed by 10. Throughout the 10 days, we have had 86.
In a telephone interview, the electoral officer of the Jomoro district, Mr. Isaac Otu, disclosed that out of the 87,335 registrants on the list, only 15,724 had verified.
The Executive Director of Programs at the Nigeria Television Authority, Mrs. Eugenia Abu, has challenged the media in Ghana to uphold the tenets of the profession, as this is critical to ensuring that the upcoming elections are successful. According to Mrs. Abu, pictures are powerful and words can be dangerous, hence the need for the media to play its gatekeeping role effectively. The Nigeria TV Authority executive was speaking in Accra during an encounter with editors on how the Ghanaian media can learn from Nigeria's 2015 general elections.
The media play an indispensable role in the proper functioning of democracy. Discussion of the media's functions within electoral contests often focuses on their gatekeeping role by regulating what goes into the public domain. The media also has other roles in enabling full public participation in elections by educating voters on how to exercise their democratic right by reporting election campaign and providing a platform for the political parties and candidates to communicate their message to the electorates. As the country gears up for the elections come December, the media is one of the many institutions that are preparing to ensure the elections are successful. As the debate on the Supreme Court verdict on the Montier 3 continues, what are the lessons media houses can learn from the case?
You must put the rules out there when you invite them. From the word go, when you speak to them on the telephone, you must let them know that these things are not allowed. Because some of them will claim that they do not know and they will put you in trouble. There are rules, you must keep them.
Regulation of the media is key, and media houses must keep a critical eye on content. With over 20 years as a news anchor in Nigeria, Mrs. Eugenia Abu shared some experiences.
Anchors, presenters, and producers have a critical role not to promote personal agenda or encourage vendetta. You must ensure that in doing so, you have things properly in check. Because if you do not, you will find yourself face to face on live television with a cantankerous guest who, although the rule books say cannot promote his party at a certain time, will suddenly remove his jacket and in it will be the t-shirt of his party. He has hung you because you did not do your due diligence.
With some few months into the elections, the Ghanaian media continue to share notes with sister nations, all in a bid to perform their role effectively. Let's take you to the eastern region now, where work on the 21-kilometer Kateria-Tewenya road in the Upper Manya Krobo district has started. This is the only route used to cart farm produce to and from the market centers at Asesewa, Sekesua, Begro in the Fantiakwa district and Kofodia, the regional capital. When completed, commercial activity is expected to be brisk.
This stretch of road has been in bad shape for years, making travel time longer than usual. Traders who ply the route say drivers charge exorbitant fares due to the nature of the road. The drivers complain about the frequent breakdown of their vehicles, and this affects their sales. Sometimes, because the vehicles break down, farm produce is left to rot. The reconstruction with bituminous surfacing is therefore welcome news to the residents. Two traders and a driver who spoke to GBC24 were happy that work had started. They hoped that it will be completed on schedule ahead of the elections.
Almost years in 19 nyamia bwana namba be kwana ma dia ene esra ban se omunjan so no monye zom de namba BCC o no ma ye bibi keke no mo jai e kwana ye den ato wa ma esa yeso ye tranka mu a ne esisi ade ese edi 30 minutes 45 minutes you do na ye use 1 hour.
The Upper Manya Krobo District Chief Executive, Mr. Joseph Tete Angmo, and MP for the area, Mr. Jeff Kavianu, asked residents to cooperate with the contractor to execute the project. They thanked the people for their patience and said the project will open up the area for brisk commercial activity. The Eastern Regional Minister, Ms. Mavis Frimpong, said the community and its surrounding areas will benefit from a water project currently under construction. Mr. Alfonso Kwe is the Deputy Regional Manager of the Department of Feeder Roads who are working on the road. The regional minister and the entourage interacted with traders at the Sekesua market. They also inspected progress of work at the China Water Project site.
3 epicenters of the hangar projects at Tobi Krum, Akute Krum, and Insuta Arija, all in the eastern region, have graduated to a phase of self-reliance. This means that the once deprived communities are now on their feet economically and are in charge of their own development. As part of the celebration of the achievement, executives of the hangar projects have held a news conference in Accra to get the support of the media and other stakeholders in the promotion of the project.
The Hunger Project is a global non-profit organization with a mission to end hunger and poverty. The project operates by organizing deprived rural communities into economic activities using local resources. The country director of the Hunger Project Ghana, Mr. Samuel Erasmus Afrani, said the project fosters a culture of self-determination in which the community itself is a driver of change.
The epicenter becomes the focal point for these rural communities where they themselves mobilize themselves, human mobilization. In other words, all the persons in these rural communities, they see the need to embark on projects that will help them to come out of poverty and hunger.
Responding to questions from the media, the president and chief executive of the Hunger Project, Asa Strauss-Komfeld, spoke about what motivated her to join the project.
What inspired me initially to invest in the Hunger Project was the idea of, rather than giving people, countries, organizations money to help people, that this was a model that used people's own resources to solve their own problems.
The Minister of State in charge of Public-Private Partnership PPP, Mr. Rashid Pelpo, says Ghana's development landscape has improved despite the economic challenges. The monthly lecture series organized by the Institute of Local Government Studies. Mr. Pelpo said during the Fourth Republic, there has been a lot of political and economic development. The monthly lecture series by the Institute of Local Government Studies is to create a platform for policy evaluation based on research findings and information sharing by engaging key stakeholders in the country. Touching on the theme, Driving Development, the Experience in Ghana from Independence to Date, the Minister of State in charge of Public-Private Partnership, Dr. Rashid Pelpo, mentioned aspects of the economy that have seen development under the Fourth Republic.
The Fourth Republic democratic transition has made profound impact on the political and economic development terrain, leaving the chaos and dictatorship of the past and achieving steady economic growth. There is a shift in the political culture of governing, and political leaders are becoming more accountable to their people. Independent institutions have taken shape and are influencing the decision-making through the people. And there is a consistent economic growth throughout.
The director of the Institute of Local Government Studies, Dr. Abdullahi Dramani, threw more light on the lecture series.
For us, the Institute has a tradition of combining theory with practice. So whatever we do, we make effort to balance theory with practice. The topics that are presented for the monthly lecture series have some special focus.
The next lecture comes off on the 25th of August 2016.
GBC's Acting Director of Technical Production, Mr. Frederick Kumase, says graduates must read, explore and be more innovative to make a mark in their various fields. He was speaking in Accra at the graduation of the fourth batch of students on completion of their course in film and television production at GBC's Television Training School.
The fourth edition of the Film and Television Production Techniques course spanned a period of 4 months. 60 students enrolled for the course. The participants were trained in various areas of filmmaking and television production, such as digital video editing, set design and script writing. They also had an industrial internship within GBC. The head of the TV training school, Mr. Richard Delali Akpakli, advised the students to network.
So as you are leaving this campus, I will urge you to build that social capital, build it, develop it, nurture it, have a lot of connections, because it is the connections which is going to, take you out there. The skills and the knowledge, you have it, but that alone cannot do the trick.
The graduates were glad to have been part of the program.
If this particular segment will be really accredited, so that it will be like students or people will come in to enroll for a period of time, like a year, 2 years, 3 years. They'll get the necessary skills that will help them do much more outside.
We had a lot of resource persons talking to us, giving us information. What people go to school to learn for 4 years, we were privileged to have it just for 4 months, and it's been a mind-blowing experience.
They called for the training school to be further upgraded.
It's all the news live on GBC24 and GTV. Achimota School continues to deal with the age-old problem of encroachers and squatters on its lands. Several meetings have taken place with stakeholders and the authorities to stop it, yet it persists with impunity. A new board currently in place now has the daunting task to work hard to reclaim the school's land from such illegal settlers and erect a wall to protect students and its campus.
On top of the list of problems at the school is encroachment. Over the years, developers, prayer centers and other settlers have illegally taken over portions of the school lands. The 8-member board, therefore, has part of its work cut out. The headmistress, Mrs. Beatrice Adom, called on the board to build a wall around the school to prevent further encroachment and to protect the students.
We have been a solid pillar behind the school administration in the quest to ward off all the encroachers in Achimota School. Those who occupy our lands and who claim that the land belongs to them. We were very steadfast in ensuring that they didn't get access to the land, and we are in court on many of these cases. Your support in this particular matter has been a lifeline to me in person and to the school in general.
The outgoing Board of Governors were presented with gifts and plaques to say thank you for their services to the school. One of the board members, an old student, spoke to GBC24.
We are actually going to continue with what our predecessors did. We're going to ensure that no encroachers come on our lands, and we're going to also ensure through the sector ministry to have the school lands board.
The new board is in place for the next 7 years.
You're still watching News Hour on GBC24 and GTV. We have more news coming up. Please stay with us. The interior of the University of Ghana bookshop now has a new look. Following refurbishment of the place, the new touch was given by Kingdom Books and Stationery, one of the leading stationery distributors in the country.
In an effort to increase the supply of learning materials to students, Kingdom Books and Stationery has, in partnership with the University of Ghana, refurbished the university's bookshop. The modern bookshop, close to the BAM library on the university campus, now has thousands of books of various categories. Also in stock are books and stationery for children of all ages and students in junior and senior high schools. Kingdom Books and Stationery has over 40 years' experience in supplying quality office essentials, equipment and furniture at affordable prices. Currently, the company operates mainly in Accra and Tema and boasts of prompt delivery of quality services to customers. They also offer after-sales services. With a mission to improve office efficiency in Ghana and West Africa, Kingdom Books and Stationery provides modern office equipment, furniture and stationery at competitive prices through well-trained customer-oriented sales personnel. At the inaugural ceremony, the Vice-Chancellor of the University of Ghana, Professor Ernest Aite, commended the company for a good job done.
It's our hope that as a result of the investment made by Kingdom Books, as a result of the investment made by the University of Ghana, this bookshop will once again become the place to go to if you're looking for books either on Ghana or on Africa or the rest of the world. It's my hope that the general public will begin to appreciate it more and more and also find it as useful as it was many years ago.
The branch manager of Kingdom Books at the University of Ghana bookshop, Mrs. Eugenia Odami Yaboa, said the company values investing in the lives of future leaders.
The opening of this bookshop brings to 8 branches being run by Kingdom Books, 3 out of which are ultra modern, that is the head office branch, this newly refurbished branch, and soon to be open 5-story branch at Tema. As an entity, we believe in hard work and excellence. In light of this, we intend to offer scholarships to 100 needy but brilliant students annually and actively be involved in the various university programs by way of sponsorship.
The management of Kingdom Books and Stationery has plans to supply reading and learning materials to the various departments and colleges of the university and its primary school.
First Bank Financial Services has extended its services to the people of Tema in the Greater Accra region. Apart from its headquarters in Accra, the Tema office is the bank's first branch and forms part of its branch expansion drive.
First Bank is a top financial house which provides investment products and services such as asset and pension fund management. The company, which started in 2009, now has a customer base of over 14,000 and still counting. In a bid to increase its market share and bring services closer to the people, First Bank has extended its services to the Tema metropolis. At the opening ceremony, the managing director of the company, Mr. Samuel Esiedu, spoke about the need for the bank to extend its frontiers.
Today is and will continue to mark a very memorable day for us as we launch our new and first business branch. Indeed, the opening of new branches outside Accra metropolis as I said, to provide investment banking services in times like this cannot be overemphasized, as we have seen our clients grown tremendously over the last few years of operation.
The Deputy Director General in charge of finance for the Securities and Exchange Commission, Mr. Lawrence Ian Chibuafo, commended the management of First Bank for adding to its outlet and encouraged Ghanaians to do business with the bank. First Bank plans to open 2 more branches in other regions to get closer to its clients.
Hello, very good evening to you. Many thanks for joining us here on that segment of the news where we tell you about the experiences we had during the journey to bring you the main stories. Now, it may be arguable, but road accidents tend to increase in election years. According to the National Road Safety Commission, this could be attributed to the increased movement of people during such periods. In addition, commuters on some roads have expressed fears that as political parties begin to crisscross the country to campaign, the number of highway armed robbery cases also appear to increase. Now, on my journey from Yendi to Tamale, the commercial vehicle on which I was traveling was attacked by armed robbers who shot and wounded the driver in the process. Traders, political party supporters and ordinary commuters are calling for heightened security on highways ahead of the 2016 general elections. Every elections since 1992 has presented security challenges to the country, but the security agencies have on all occasions risen to the task. They have been able to police the elections by employing measures to protect the public, elections officials and materials to ensure peaceful elections. The importance of employing security measures is also to prevent and contain disorder and violence during elections so as to preserve its integrity. With the approach of every election day, many Ghanaians get worried over possible violence before, during and after the elections. The mood ahead of the 2016 elections is no different. This time, however, some concern has shifted to the safety of commuters and political party supporters as they travel around the country to sell their messages to the electorate on the campaign trail. The National Road Safety Commission says the number of road accidents and deaths rise during election years.
The trend shows that in every election year compared with the preceding year, election years are problematic. We suspect that political party activity and campaigns have accounted for this rise. If you look back to this year, I'm sure you would agree that there have been cases of political party activists, constituency chairpersons and leaders who've had accidents, many of whom have lost their lives.
Apart from road accidents, another security concern for many Ghanaians ahead of the elections in 2016 is the possible rise in the number of highway robbery cases. After doing some work in the Yendi municipality, the official vehicle of the GBC24 crew broke down late at night, and as a result, the crew had to board a commercial vehicle from Yendi to Tamale. We cannot continue on the journey with that car, so we have to go with this one. This is Yendi actually, and we have to go to Tamale from Yendi with this vehicle.
No, was it the front too?
No,
was it the front?
Oh, okay.
Why did I was it the front?
Just as the vehicle approached Tugu, a village about 30 kilometers from Tamale, the vehicle was attacked by robbers. There has just been a robbery attack on this part of the road, and the police officers have come to ensure that everything is okay. The driver of the vehicle was shot on the foot, and currently he has been rushed to receive medical attention. But armed robbery cases on this stretch of the road from Yendi to Tamale are very frequent and very regular as well. They shot at the side of the vehicle and from the front, and in the process they injured the driver on his left foot. Luckily, nobody else in the car was injured. Neither were the robbers able to take away any items with them because the police responded quickly when word got to them. But the robbers fled before they arrived on the scene.
We heard the sound of the gunshots. Then all of a sudden, blood started oozing out of the driver's feet. There were 3 of them. They ran into hiding when they heard the police coming.
The gunshots damaged the vehicle's engine. A mechanic who was brought in to help could do very little to get the vehicle back on the road.
Well, the bullet touched the timing belt, so it's problem. So they can't go move today.
They changed the time, but they changed that one.
Well, it should have tied too.
Over the years, Yendi has become one of the hotbeds of politics in the country, and as the political season rises to a climax, this road will become very busy, and the safety of journalists, political party supporters and ordinary commuters would have to be secured. The PRO of the Northern Regional Police Command, ASP Ebenezer Tete, says the police are prepared to protect the citizens.
The Northern region is a restive region and is noted for violence during elections, so we are also training our rapid deployment force officers, and also we have also been assured that we will be receiving some anti-riot equipment. So apart from the training, we are also going to receive logistics that will help us in quelling, crowd and then violence and riotous, situations.
Meanwhile, the Ghana National Commission on Small Arms has revealed that there are more than 1 million small arms in the country which are unaccounted for. Abdul Haimumin, GBC24, Togo. And that's it for my journey. But a quick reminder that in 2012, a presidential candidate was attacked by armed robbers, and in his company were journalists as well. And so the call is ripe that all of us must be concerned, and the security agencies must be up and doing to ensure the safety of all during these periods. Thank you very much. We'll see you again some other time.
In sports this evening, the national amputee football team, the Black Challenge, are winners of the special football match Christian Able by the Disabled. This was to prove that being physically challenged did not mean that one was unable to perform and perform well.
Maiden edition of the historic football match between able persons and disabled persons was put together by the family of the needy Ghana, Fund Ghana. Fund Ghana is a charitable non-profit organization made up of mostly of tertiary students who love to put smiles on the faces of the relatively underprivileged to make them feel a part of society. The game, which took place at the Kaneshi Bishop Park, was to dispel the notion that disabled are incapable. Also, the game was to help minimize stigmatization of the physically challenged. At the end, the amputee side won by 2-1. There were special prizes for some deserving players. Fund Ghana, as part of its support, presented some coaches to the players. Officials promised to do more to support the less privileged in society. The leader of Fund Ghana said there is more to come.
We have a bigger tournament that is actually involving all the amputees, bringing them together to organize a soccer tournament for them, a competition that will bring all these people together.
A similar event is expected to be replicated across the country.
Our sports, we'll talk some entertainment shortly. Do stay with us.
In barely 4 weeks, the nation will celebrate trailblazers in the makeup industry. Beauticians whose tireless work in the arts have gained recognition, as well as budding practitioners with groundbreaking achievements, will also receive honorable mention. In Accra, nominees for the first Ghana Makeup Awards were made public.
Makeup is an art form and certainly more than just a lick of mascara and a smudge of lipstick.
Many people do not see it as such, but it takes a long time to master, and everyone has their own style. It stirs up the innate creativity as makeup experts strive to bring beauty and inspiration to women. The Ghana Makeup Awards is to celebrate makeup artists whose contribution to the beauty industry is yet to be recognized. And for the younger generation of makeup artists, they will be honored for breaking new grounds and pushing boundaries in the makeup profession. The launch of the awards saw various makeup aspects from bridal makeup, special effects, extreme and editorial makeup. The Deputy Minister for Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts officially launched the awards and the nominees were unveiled. Organizers of the awards spoke to GBC24.
On the main events, we're going to see glitz, the glam. We're going to celebrate artistic and beauty excellence. We're going to have a makeup show. We want to actually celebrate the acts and creativity of makeup.
The main ceremony comes off on the 27th of August 2016 at the La Palm Beach Hotel in Accra.
From driving accidents to distracted pedestrians and dangerous trespassing, the phenomenal success of Nintendo's Pokemon Go game is fueling public safety concerns around the world. For watching, before we go, look again at the stories that made headlines. Health experts have raised concern about the high prevalence rate of hepatitis A in Ghana, with some communities recording high rates as high as 20%. Knowing your status is a step to prevention.
Work on the 21-kilometer Kateria-Tawanya Road in the Upper Manya Kobo district of the Eastern Region has started. This is the only route used to cart farm produce to and from the market centers. And that was the news. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll be back at 10:30 with This Week.
Good evening.